Are you a Christian? Do you go to therapy? Let's talk about it.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm your girl Surea.
And I'm Alieshia.
Yes, welcome to the Black Girls Den. So today we are going to be talking about therapy and counseling, child. It has always been a taboo, it seems like, in the Black household amongst Christians or anything like that. So we're going to deep dive into it, the main differences and how it's been beneficial to us, and also the pros and the cons of it as well. But y'all know how we do. We always start out with our den diaries. But today we are switching it up a little bit because we have this game called Real Talk Hip Hop Edition. So we are actually going to do something from this. And these are just Black conscious conversation starter cards. So yeah, I'm going to have Alieshia pick a card and then we are going to get into this tea about this game.
Okay. So the card that I picked, in light of, you know, the BET Awards and everything that's going on, we're going to talk about some music. Who is your favorite female rapper and why? That's the question. Let us know your answer, then we're going to tell y'all ours.
So I would say that my favorite female rapper is probably still going to have to be Nicki Minaj. I mean, we already discussed this, like, during our age range and our, as us being brought up, we really didn't have a whole lot of female rappers, to be honest. Like, I mean, so I would say Nicki, even though there has been some things going on with her for these past few years. You know, I can understand the different transitions, especially after her father died and things like that. I think that's kind of what really started all of it. But she felt like she was getting bullied. But I'm like, baby, who is bullying you? Like, you are still the top selling female artist of all times when it comes to rap music. But yeah, I would say definitely Nicki lyrically. And just the impact that she's had on society, just letting women be a little bit more free-spirited, be bosses and stuff like that. And she really gives back to other women as well. So I would definitely say Nicki in a sense.
What women does she give back to?
Well, I mean, she's always like donated money to like colleges and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she's not a good colleague now.
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to competition, she's not for the other rap girlies like that. But she has been those. I mean, because we all know with the whole Megan situation, child. And then she's been helping with JT, and then Ice Spice is her artist. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Ice Spice is her artist? Mm-hmm. Oh, is that why she does stuff with Ice Spice?
Yeah.
I did not know Ice Spice was her artist. I was trying to figure out, or like people were talking about like why she's so cling on Ice Spice or whatever. And then there's another one, the girl Bia.
Oh yes.
I know she did a remix with Bia, but I did not know Ice Spice was her artist. But yeah, I'm sorry, Ice Spice has no talent to me, none. So I don't know about that. So like I would say when I was growing up, Nicki was probably my favorite, but I really didn't have an option to choose. Like I did listen to MC Light, Missy Elliott. I did actually like Missy Elliott when I was younger.
Yeah, she's one of my second favorite.
Yeah, she's not my favorite, but I did like her music, like all the videos and stuff like that when she was doing music with Sierra and stuff like that.
Right.
But she wasn't, she definitely was before my time kind of, so I feel like she was like, not like dying down, but like kind of like going out. And Nicki was coming with this new thing, like, I'm a Barbie, I'm cute, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. So it's like fun pop songs or whatever, so I did like her. But now I'm going to say my favorite artist is probably Cardi B.
Oh, Nicki's up.
Nicki's out, right? Because Nicki is a hater, and I don't like that. Like, one thing that I think, about Nicki is like you can gain respect, or like, you know how she likes Lil' Kim or something like that, but I'm like, people really don't have to pay you homage. They only pay you homage how you treat them and if they want to. Like at the end of the day, like even me, it could be like, oh yeah, I love Oprah Winfrey, right? But if somebody else wants to be a talk show host, they might not like Oprah, okay? They might like Tamron Hall, so it's just like, you cling to who you cling to. I don't think she can get mad. Like, I put female rappers on. Yeah, you did help with their streaming. Yeah, you helped with their money, stuff like that. Right. But you also came in with like Lil Wayne and stuff, so that's all the things like that. Like, you probably change who you are and stuff like that. So I think with her, it kind of just like, because it's like, girl, like I do like you, but like you are literally like hating on these new people, and then going in on Meg, like calling her Bigfoot on stuff like that. Her mama like lying on your dad. I'm like, that was just crazy. Like, it's entertainment and I get it, but like you're mad at her. But you did a song with her a couple years ago. Are you mad at her because she's cooler with Cardi? Like, I'm just like, kind of confused. And I like Cardi because Cardi is authentic. She's true to herself. I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with all her choices because being with Offset, he cheated on her like that. But like, I didn't even watch her on Love and Hip Hop, to be quite honest. But like, for her to come and say in review, she's smart. She speaks 3 different languages. She was studying. She was grinding. So I think like that is like all like that is great. Like she really got it out the mud. Her rapping is fun, and it gives you like that I'm a boss. I'm not gonna like worry about nothing. I'm getting my money and I'm with my man kind of thing. Like different. All her songs are about Offset, but regardless, it's like she's still a person. She still has views, and I think that she's smart in like what she does. So I would have to say Cardi is probably my favorite one right now. I do like the City Girls. I do like Carisha a little bit more just because I don't do the scamming, so we know.
Right.
But now like Meg Thee Stallion is cool, but Meg Thee Stallion talks about the same thing all the time.
She talks about the same thing
all the time.
It's her.
So. Yeah, like
that's about
90, 90, 90. Oh, Sweetie, I love Sweetie. Sweetie's a rapper. Oh my gosh, Sweetie, I love Sweetie. Okay, but I guess I wouldn't say she's my favorite, but I love her. Like when she's like 8-figure, rich, whatever. Rich. Like her music is fun, it's popping. She's a boss. She got money.
Yeah,
she's smart. She a businesswoman. I forgot about Sweetie, but it would go Cardi, Sweetie. So yeah, but
I would say personality wise, I love Sweetie, but rapping wise.
I like her as rapping because she's not there for the I'm going back and forth with you. She's like, I'm getting money, I'm having fun, I'm twerking, like I'm living life. And then also on her YouTube channel, she did this like during COVID or whatever, but like she was like giving episodes like Sweet Life or something like that, Sweetie's Life, and she was like doing business stuff or whatever. And so like that's her background, sure was. And that could be why I like Cardi and Sweetie, the educated women putting on. Oh, Meg Thee Stallion is educated too, so I don't want to say that, whatever. Like the college women showing up. We're monolithic. We can be more than one. And don't have to be like, oh, you didn't go to school. Oh, you didn't do that. No, girl, you can go to school. You can rap. You can be whatever you want to be. So I think that is also kind of why, I like them as well. So that was a long answer, but.
Well, I mean, child, we could do an episode about rappers all day because I got a lot more to say, especially about Miss Nicki, but we're not going to touch
Miss
that.
Onika.
All right. Anika. Tanya Mirage.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even know that was her. The whole thing. She's from Trinidad. That's all I do. Yeah. Trinidadian.
Yes. But yeah, so also we are having our Sip and Whip event. So we are going to be collaborating with our girl from Savannah Sweet Spa. So if you are in the Louisville or Jeffersonville, Indiana area, that is going to be July 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. So come and sip and whip with us. We're going to have our wine glasses.
Yeah, we're vending. So come with your money, honey. Okay. You're going to be sipping and whipping. You can get the tickets on Eventbrite. Or she has them on her website. The website will be in the link in the description.
Yes.
But come to get your wine glasses or your mugs like this. Because I'm sipping on this, which is lemonade.
Where's my mug?
But yes, the mugs are here. Now, if you want them customized, you're going to have to order it online. But we'll tell you. When you order it online, you get 15% off. Sorry, if you're vending, we don't have that capability. So you're going to have to pay the whole price. But we love you anyways. We'll give you a sticker or something, maybe.
Right.
So yeah, come and join us. Make some stuff, drink, and have a good time with us.
Oh, yes, definitely. So yeah, let's get into this episode, okay? So we are doing this also in lieu of every month we dedicate our topics to a different specific, I guess, idea. So for like a theme. So this month is minority mental health awareness. So May was mental health awareness, but this is specifically for people of color. So yeah, we really want to touch on that. So yeah, is there a stigma around therapy, do you think?
I think there is a stigma around therapy. A little bit, not as much as before, but like maybe in college, like growing up, because I never really heard about therapy until probably going to college.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, like, oh, we have therapists, we have counseling, like, that's when they kind of talk about it more. You have this or like this or that, like to have support if you have something going on with your life. And then I guess as I got older, I learned more about it. But then you're hearing like people talking like, oh, I don't go to therapy. I don't go to therapy. Therapy are for the white tea people. Or like, all I need is God. Like, I don't really need therapy. Like God is my therapist or something like that. So that's kind of how I heard about it. But I do think right now, I think that it's a bigger like thing that's happening, conversation and stuff. So I don't think there's a stigma around it. Now people are over here asking on dates. Do you have a therapist? Who your therapist is? So like, I feel like it's kind of normalized now to have a therapist and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that growing up as being in a black household, as we said, it was definitely a taboo. We've always been told that God is your therapist, like you need to resort to the Bible and things like that. And I mean, of course, you always should look at God as your main counselor. You should seek him first, but I do think that therapy does help because, you can pray all day on, all that you want. And I might get eaten up for saying this, but I'm like, faith without works is dead. So I feel like, how are you going to really apply these things if you're not really doing the work and putting them in? A therapist, like, there's Christian therapy, and I wanted to touch bases on that because, I actually went to Christian therapy, and it's not like a woo-woo thing. Like, no, this is a full-on minister that is bringing the Bible into therapy and showing you, how you can apply these verses into your lives. But it's like one of those things, it's like where you really have to take that in. And I think, honestly, like as she said, that growing up, it was not really talked about. I know I personally didn't learn about therapy well until like my later 20s, honestly, either. Like it was not even college. It was well after I was out of college. Like I always heard about therapy, but I never was interested in going. But then once I started seeing like while I was having different relationship problems or how I act sometimes, I'm like, child, maybe I do need to go to therapy because I feel like I'm traumatized by certain things. So.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Because I was going to say, what made you even think to go to therapy? But
trauma.
That's not funny, but what you said. So do you still have a Christian therapist?
No, I don't. Actually, shout out to Miss Chanel Jackson. She's actually here in the Louisville, Kentucky area. I found her off of psychology today. So I started going to her, I think in like 2021. But yeah, it was dealing with like some relationship stuff. I was just dealing with a lot of mental health issues at the time. So I was like, I only specifically Psychology Today, and I'm like, if you see this, sponsor us.
I had Psychology Today, period.
Yes.
I was just going to say, do you feel like there's a difference between the Christian therapy and then like the therapy that you're doing now? Like, do you feel like there is a huge difference, or do you kind of feel like it's the person, or if you're like, it doesn't really matter?
I think there's both because, like I said, with Miss Jackson, I think with her, she really was all in, like, you know, a full-on Christian and stuff like that. She didn't give a session without talking about God, and I really did like that. The therapist I was going to was Latina. She is a Christian as well, but she didn't really talk about it as much like that. So I did see the main difference with them, and we always prayed. That was one thing that we always did. We prayed before the session and we prayed after. Even sometimes I felt bad. Like I could call her and she'd be like, oh, let's pray about it, you know, things like that. But my other counselor, child, there was no prayer. You know, she didn't really do that. She was more scientific. So she was talking more about cognitive behavior therapy. And like a lot of books to read. Like all counselors are I wouldn't say counselors. I say a lot of therapists want you to read books. And that's fine. But I'm like, I'm more interactive. I'm more of a hands-on person. And like even with Ms. Jackson, like we did vision boards. Like we had sessions where we would do that, talk about different goals in life instances. Or she'd be like, oh, you know, how's church going? Like, what did you learn today? Or like, how was the Sunday sermon and stuff like that. So it was a big, big difference between someone, I wouldn't say more worldly, but I guess someone that's a little bit more secular versus someone that is a Christian therapist. There's a huge difference there. Honestly, it is.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. But I was like, the Bible, they do say use the Bible because like a lot of topics in there are like anxiety, depression. They be like, I be seeing on TikTok like, if you're anxious, read this. If you're this, read this.
Right.
So like, I hear that too or whatever. But also, I can understand too because it's kind of like, well, you read the Bible. I mean, you go to church to listen to the pastor to apply, but it's like sometimes when you go to church, the sermon is good, you know, for you or whatever. But sometimes it's like, okay, this may not relate to me or whatever. So it's like, although people are telling you to read the Bible, read the Bible, read the Bible, but y'all never told me how to apply it to my life, how to do this, how to do it that. So I think that's good how within, you know, therapy and stuff like that, they're like giving you these different options and talking to you about it and stuff like that to help you. I personally have never been to therapy. And so I don't really know too much about therapy. Like I know about therapy because I was interested in actually being a therapist to be interested. Yeah. but I didn't go to therapy. I didn't like go that route. So I think that I'm more on the counseling side because I have seen things and done things that I'm like, okay, I might need some counseling. Like I need an outlet. So, because when I was, not even when I was younger, when I was in college, stuff like that, in grad school, it's kind of hard. I was like, okay, like I feel like I use my friends as my therapist. I like therapy. Like I feel like friends bring me good therapy because it's like talking about things, hanging out. Like I don't really feel like nothing traumatic has happened. I'm not going to like nothing's been like so traumatizing. I'm like, oh, I need to go to therapy to figure this out, to do this or whatever, you know. So it's like different topics can happen, but when I'm talking about different things, stuff like that, I feel like friends, and that's why I feel like support systems are so good because that's kind of where I align with therapy. I feel like, but I noticed like sometimes your friends, they have, you know, people have different things going on with their life issues, stuff like that. So as you get older, like you can't really do that as much. But like when you're younger, you're always talking about like, oh, this happened to me today, or this happened to me today, or whatever. It's like when you get older, people move, people different things like that. You can't talk. It's kind of like, oh snaps, like maybe you do have to talk to somebody. And so I would say that I went to counseling in my last job because, as y'all know, I hated that job. But I didn't even use my counseling until like I was about to leave the job. And so I heard about an early...
Your job gave you provided counseling?
Well, yeah. So, well, not even the job. Like the benefits provided you 4 sessions of free counseling.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. So always look at your service providers in your insurance. So I was able to use 4 free sessions, and that's with the counselor. And then after that, I know you got to pay, but I left that job, so I didn't even keep on doing it. So then I just kind of talked about different things. Like I hated my job, I hated where I lived. So I feel like that counseling was better for me because it was in that time moment. Like I hate my job, what can I do? Right, I can find another job, but as I can't find another job, what am I doing? So I talked about where I was at. I hated my job. I talked about how I hated where I was living. So that was just kind of something like, okay, I need to find a different option. I need to figure out something else. And then those are things you can't talk with your friends about because they don't hate their life. They don't hate where they're at. And talking to people in Atlanta, baby, they love Atlanta. So it's like, what you mean you hate Atlanta? I mean, So it's like, I'm not getting the interactions. And then you talk to your parents and child, they be like, pray about it. It's like, okay, I have done that.
Right.
So it's like, sometimes you need that outside person. I feel like that's what happened with me in counseling. Even right now, I actually do get free counseling from my benefits. Shout out to the benefits. So use your benefits if you're at your jobs. And so it's like, okay, I'm talking about it. Like there's somebody else out here, like an outsider. The other person that I first met she was a black woman, and she was in Georgia, and she actually was a Christian. So she did talk more about like God and praying and stuff like that. And then she's like, okay, what's going on here? What do you do here? And then she was giving me some tips and stuff like that. But I mean, I moved, so then I can't use her no more. This one, I don't really know if she's a Christian or not. And probably
she doesn't do like virtual sessions.
The lady, I don't know if she did do virtual sessions, but I don't even know if I could afford the virtual sessions. Like I didn't reach back out to her because sometimes it's like, well, if I'm in Kentucky, you're in Georgia, like, I don't know how that goes with virtual or like whatever. I was like, maybe I could.
It depends on their licensing.
Yeah, the licensing. Yeah. So it's like, okay. And then I kind of just like threw it off. I was just like, oh, hey, I found a new job. I'm leaving Atlanta. She's like, oh, that's good. That's great. I was like, yes, thank you so much, girl. I'm out of here. Right. But then I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm good now, because I was like, oh, I'm leaving. Right. So it's just like, I'm good. I got a new job. I'm leaving. So boom, right? But now and then when you're at a standstill, it's like, okay, let me try to figure out something else. So I feel like I am more of a person that likes counseling, to talk to someone about it. And maybe if I had a pastor, I could talk to him about it. I don't really have a pastor or whatever, like a home church pastor. So I was like, okay, that's kind of my only option. So I would say that talking about things and being able to have those counseling sessions was helpful in a way, just to kind of like get out all my stuff that's happening with me or like what I'm going through. But then feeling like if you don't have a support system that you can't really talk to it about it, or if you have talked about your support system and they ain't give me not even support, but they're not giving you no solution. So it's like, okay, let me talk to somebody else. So
yeah, definitely. And then let us know in the comments below, are you guys in favor of therapy, and have you been to therapy or counseling? So because like we said, there are differences between the two. I think the main differences are, and we did look this up, is counseling really focuses on your present issues, and like short-term goals and stuff like that. Therapy kind of deep dives more into like your past. It is also for short terms and longer term goals as well. It's really trying to be more of life changing and restoration, I think, essentially. Counseling is kind of like guiding you, essentially, like how she was dealing with her job. That was kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say it was like a short term thing, but it was presently what she was dealing with, and then she got out of it. So yeah, therapy, you can do that for years and years and years. Counseling, you can as well. It just depends.
You can. Oh, I never thought about therapy because they want you to keep on trying to do new things so they can keep getting paid.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Yes,
that's their livelihood, and that's what they do, child. I can't afford that. My therapy is traveling. Okay.
Period. Mine. That's one of mine too.
Okay, that's my therapy. That's another conversation for another day. But yeah, I wanted to ask. So we talked a little bit about it, like growing up being a Christian in a Christian household. We never heard about therapy and stuff like that. So this is a question to you and to them. Like, were you nervous to seek help or like seek a therapist because you were a Christian, or like, I don't know if you talked to your parents about it, like, oh no, just pray. Not talk to your parents about the issue, but I mean talk to them about going to therapy if you ever mentioned to them or whatever. Are people at church and they're like, oh, just pray to God, just read the Bible.
I don't think I ever really talked to my parents about me personally going to therapy. I know my dad has done something kind of like that because of being in the military, like the VA kind of provides those services and stuff. So I don't really think it's necessarily a taboo to them anymore. But yeah, I would say that I personally never discussed it with them. It was just like, let me go try to find somebody. It was very, awkward, I would say, because they're obviously going to be like, well, why are you here to see us? Like, what's going on with you? Then you have to tell them, oh, this happened to me, or I'm going through this. And they're like, oh, okay. But like, they're supposed to be very unbiased, but at the same time, give you advice on how to better the situation, not make it worse. So it was a little bit nerve wracking to disclose to somebody, but I know it's completely confidential. The only way that they will really release information if you say you're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else. So, child, if you bring that up, they probably going to tell them.
Okay, baby, that's on the intake form.
Yeah,
so.
it is.
It's like, have you ever? I was like, oh my gosh, right? Like, yes. No, thank you.
So, if you are thinking about that, I mean, you can talk to them about it, but just be prepared.
Call the suicide hotline.
Yes, yes. So
no laughing for real.
Yeah, that's a very serious matter. And that's a huge thing of mental health as well. But yeah, I think that was my experience.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, even to that point, like trigger warning, we did talk about that. I seen something on Instagram and it's about that. It's like saying that Black people don't do that, and it's like no, they actually really do that. So if you are looking for those resources, that's literally it's on Instagram called Black People Don't Do It, you know.
Oh, okay. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's just like an Instagram page. I don't know if they have a podcast or whatever, but there's some resources within that. So if y'all have any resources as well, y'all can drop them below in the comments for other people.
Yes.
We might be able to put some stuff in our description below. Like, actually, really what I remember about knowing about therapy is when I was in grad school, my friend told me about Black girl therapy, or therapy for Black girls.
Oh yeah, the podcast. Yes, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, so if you all have not, y'all can go check that out. And I remember my first one was talking about Joan, but she did something that was really kind of cool. She used characters from TV shows, and she like took them to her couch or whatever. So that's actually how I learned about it. And like Joan was like 30, she didn't have no kids, she was single and stuff like that. And so that's even a reason, you know, like why we even started the podcast, was to kind of talk about that, the safe space. Like, oh, I'm not in my 30s yet. I'm not even 30, but I know, but I'm in my late 20s, and it's like discussing about how we have to grieve the life that we thought we even had, and talking about that to therapy. If y'all want us to have a conversation about this, let us know. But talking about how we thought when we was gonna be married by 25 and have kids, just because like that's what we seen and that's how our parents was, and like that's not the life that we're living. So even talking even talking about that, like even being married, even having kids, or even about how much money you were supposed to make, it's like we have to grieve that. And that could be something that you can go to therapy for, or counseling, like grieving the life that you thought you may have had, and that you don't have. So like that's something that you can even talk about. That's kind of why we had this safe space, to have those conversations, because it really is hard. And being women and stuff like that, you know, they be like, well, your biological clock, you're gonna have cash, you're gonna be single, and if you don't do this or do that. So it's kind of like all those topics that you're having, people are probably thinking of those same things. There's just nowhere to talk about it. So if you want to go to therapy or counseling, those are ways that you can, get those feelings and thoughts out. Because sometimes your parents can't relate to you. I mean, your friends can't relate to you because they may be booed up. They might have 5 kids or whatever. Who even knows? But, like, just taking that step to really have that expression or even using it in a journal, just get those thoughts out of your head so you're able to, just like woo-saw with this. So
right.
That's something that I wanted to add.
And this may be controversial to say, but I was not a fan of BetterHelp, and I still am not. I don't feel like it helped at all. I did try to go on there because it's like the most infamous or famous counseling they try to promote and stuff. But
we won't be getting sponsored by them.
I mean, it can work for other people though, but I'm just saying, me personally, and I thought it was very costly as well.
Oh yes, it is.
It's very costly, and they didn't accept any kind of insurance because that's the reason why I personally never tried to go for BetterHelp. Yeah, they want you to pay out of pocket. As far as I know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing, at least my insurance was not with them.
That's probably why the influencers pay for it, because they don't have no insurance.
They don't have no insurance.
Oh,
yeah.
It was expensive when I looked at it one time. I said, whoa.
That's why I say Psychology Today, because you can go on there and actually filter any type of counselor you're looking for, whether it's dealing with women's health, it's dealing with LGBT, it's dealing with Christian therapy, really fertility issues, anything like that. You can deal with any type of, you can filter any of your insurance companies. And also another good one is Spring Health. That's actually what my job offers, free counseling sessions like hers. So Spring Health is also another good one. And you don't have to go in person. You can do in virtual, and you can also do in person or virtual counseling on Psychology Today or Spring Health. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
and BetterHelp is only online. So if you want it in person, that's another con. You will not be able to do in-person counseling with BetterHelp.
Yeah, I want to do virtual, but I feel like from watching the shows, I'm like, let me go on the couch. Like Yvonne went on the couch for therapy, but when I went to it wasn't really on the couch. It was like in the seat, But
right.
I was like, okay.
That's like a psychiatrist where they be laid back,
yeah,
and the doctor's
waiting
down, doing like the hypnosis and trying to figure out you're having all these issues. And
okay, well, I never been a psychiatrist, but I do want to say,
me either. I ain't trying to go.
Okay,
no shade.
Oh. Well, I did want to say, since you have been in therapy, I don't know how long you've been in therapy, but is there something that you feel like you've learned, and like you don't have to share what you learned, but like something that you learned that you feel like you apply in your everyday life that you keep going back to, or do you feel like it's just?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say from the counselor I had not too long ago, the Latina one, she taught me basically like shelf your emotions. So like when you start thinking about something that could be triggering or emotional, this may not even deal with something trauma. It could be dealing with anything really that could be upsetting you or whatever. Like you need to figure out the appropriate time, and don't hold in your emotions either. Like, but if you're in the workspace and you see something that could be triggering, like try to hold it together. But if you have to leave and go to the bathroom and cry or do something like that, that's the best way you can. Like shelf your emotions until you get into that safe space, but always allow yourself to go through the emotions. Don't hold them in. Cause like me, I'm a empath. So like if she was upset, if somebody passed away in her family, I'm going to feel that. I'm going to take it in too. And I'm going to be upset and emotional about it. That's just how I am naturally. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned. And also like which I'm still working on, child, is my temper. So that's something that I've seen a lot growing up from my family members, like very hot-headed, and I'm just like, is it even worth it to get mad about this? And I look back and I'm like, child, I shouldn't even have blown up about this. That was so dumb and so small. So I think that's also something I'm still learning and have learned a lot over the years, is balancing my emotions and not getting upset about little small things. I really don't get mad until like I feel like somebody keeps picking with me and just disrespecting me, and then I get upset. But like something small, I'm like, nah, it's not worth it to do all that.
Yeah, I learned, baby, I don't need my blood pressure to be high. So it takes me a long time to get mad, but I do go off, like I can go off quickly. But that's to like the other gender, not to like people. Yeah, I have
that's mine.
What?
The other gender.
Oh yeah, I have a short fuse. Like I have
same.
I don't have enough patience.
Right.
For men, basically. I have patience for kids. I have patience for people.
Same.
But like I have a short. But it takes me a lot to get upset and mad. But like when you just say stuff, it's just be like, that don't even make sense. Like why are you trying me right now?
Right.
And so it's just like, ugh. But I feel like I do have good patience. Like I'm patient with people. people who are literally like quick to anger, they actually kind of scare me.
Right,
like,
right.
Especially the other gender. I don't do that very well, but
right.
Yeah, I would say in my counseling thing, it's not that I didn't know this, but like this lady is pounding my head. She's like, "You need to be happy where you're at," and I'm like, "Girl, I need more money." She's like, "You need to be happy where you're." I'm like, "Girl, I'm happy. Can I make some more money?"
Right, right.
So it's just like, she's just trying to say, like, be happy, be happy. And I'm like, there's only so much that I could be happy about.
Right.
If you cannot, like, afford your lifestyle, afford what you want to do, or happy with what you're doing. We talked about that, like, in the last week's episode. So go check that one out. About being lonely or, like, moving to a new city, being alone in a new city, or like just talking about just trying to find friends and stuff like that. It's just like, you have to be happy with yourself, but it's like, okay, like you could be happy with yourself, but how long do you have to be alone and not be happy or whatever? So that's something that she's like keeps saying. I'm like, honey, whatever. So we gonna see if I keep on going with my good sis or have to do another counselor.
And besides like therapy, like what other outlets do you use to like maybe put yourself in a more balanced state? I know you said traveling. Like, is there anything else you do?
Traveling. So I feel like if I'm not having a good day or if I've had a long day, I cry. I be crying. Like I just cry, like letting the emotions out, crying.
That's me.
Yeah, I just like let it out sometimes because sometimes you just need a good cry. I wouldn't say that personally this helps with my mental health or whatever, but like I do work out. Sometimes I do go to the gym. So it's like, okay, let me just go to the gym. It's like, all right, I'll just go to the gym. Then it takes my mind off of things because then I'm watching YouTube,
right.
Playing music or whatever. And so I would say watching YouTube, like watching like a good show. I don't even watch TV that much, but like watching a good show on Netflix or watching YouTube, it gets me into like a better headspace when I'm like down or upset or something like that. But sometimes I do just like sit and feel the emotions. I do sit and feel the emotions, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then the next day, we're just gonna get our emotions and we're just gonna do something new.
Right.
So that's what I do.
Yeah, I think for me, I love to travel as well. As you guys know, I just got back from Houston. That was kind of therapeutic because I got to see my friends I haven't seen in a long time. And that was good to reunite with them and just spend time with them and stuff like that and catch up. But I think also, like, I'm a very nature-oriented person. I like being outdoors, so I like to go walk in the park. I like to go hiking, boating, swimming. Also, like, exercise as well. Like she said, I like to do a lot of yoga. That's, like, calming as well. It takes your mind off of it. And I think, like, scientifically, it helps with your brain and stuff like that as well to release certain toxins and stuff like that. So I would say exercise is one, and also do a lot of journaling as well. When I have something heavy on my heart, I write in my prayer journal. Honestly, I talk to God a lot through writing, not just praying, but writing it down and scripting it. And I would say, like, really anything, like cooking, spending time with friends again, being at home, watching movies, just do anything to take my mind off of it. Yeah, so I think those are how I get over certain issues too.
Oh yeah, my friend, she was talking about meditation. I've always tried to meditate, but baby, it just don't be working too much. But it's for me, it's just like being zen, meditating, taking 5 minutes to just incorporate that into your day is really good.
Right.
Also, I was gonna say something I like to do that's fun that kind of like gets me out of just normal daytime, because I am trying to do a couple things. I don't travel as much. I haven't traveled as much this year, and so it has made me kind of sad because I traveled a lot more last year. But one thing that I do say that is growing up, my parents, they would always host things or whatever. So now I feel like I'm kind of in my hosting era a little bit, just because we have like the space and stuff like that. So I recently just hosted a Juneteenth Part 2, 4th of July karaoke party, and that was fun.
I didn't even get to attend.
I know, right? But that was fun because I see my friend from college. She doesn't live here. My other friend from college. And I got to meet some new people as well. Not meet some new people. We got to just bring some other new people here. And then we did a game night party. So I like getting people together. I like having fun. I like talking, networking, playing games clearly. So that's kind of fun. And I was going to say, that's something that you can even do like on a budget. Getting people together to do that stuff. So I would say that kind of gets me out of it. Like, oh, I'm about to see my friends. Like, oh, we're actually about to get together. Because people's schedules are like, I'm doing this weekend. I'm doing that next weekend. So I feel like that kind of helps me with like, being able to be like looking forward to something if it's not traveling. Like, oh, I'm looking forward to the game night. I'm looking forward to the karaoke thing. I'm over here like, well, what should we do next? So just kind of like keeping fun things on your calendar.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, I would say overall, therapy definitely is not a taboo. At least to us, it's not. Counseling, however you want to go about it. And I think that if you need it, you need that extra guidance and assurance, like we said, talking to friends does not always get it. Especially as being adults, you don't want to tell your friends everything. You want some privacy and some secrecy. You know, I do have that one friend I can pretty much tell everything to, but I know at the same time, I wouldn't say she's judgmental, but I would say that, you know, sometimes you get that unsolicited advice, you know what I'm saying, from that person. And sometimes I don't want to hear any advice. I want to just be able to vent to you. But see, that's how friends are, though, because they'll kind of hold you accountable and be like, well, why did you do this? Why did you say this? And it's like, I already know that I messed up, but I'm just kind of trying to use you as an outlet. So that's why I don't like resort to friends too much anymore, depending on what the situation is, because I'm like, I gotta have some type of something to myself, and I want an unbiased person to really help me get through that problem. And you can't always put that stuff on your friends because they're dealing with things in their lives as well. Because I had one friend that we were talking for a while, like we've been friends for years, and like she was dealing with so much mental stuff herself. And she said that, like, when I talked about something, it really added on to it. And it started stressing her out. Not me personally, but, you know, me, her sister, her mom, her brother. Everybody was coming at her with different stuff because she's an empath as well. And she's a Pisces. And I'm like, she really took in, like, all everybody's stuff. I mean, this is what she said. Like, and she was just like, child, it was stressing me out. She was like, I had to start going to therapy because I could not deal with everybody's problems. So, yeah.
I hear people say, because of my sign, like, I get it, but I don't get it. But doesn't your therapist challenge you, too? Do you not feel the same way when your therapist challenges you?
The therapist does challenge you. They will definitely hold you accountable. They'll be like, well, why did you do it like this? Or why did you say that? Or, you know, but I don't think it comes to the point where sometimes family members and friends can get nasty when they say certain things back to you. I'm not saying they always can, but I think therapists, if they hold you accountable, they're just a little bit more professional. You know, if I were to talk to one of my family members, they might cuss me out and be like, oh, I ain't got time for that, because that's going to make me go into a mental breakdown. So that's all I'm saying about that. But everybody's family's not like that, though.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I do have some more questions about the friendship, but our next episode is actually about friendship, so we're going to keep it on that.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the next part so you can learn about healthy friendships and just talking to your friendships, because I don't know. I feel like I'm an open person with my friendships, and I also think I guess secret stuff and like different things that's dealing whatever. Right. I'm an open book, so that's probably why I don't really think too much about it. But I feel like if you can't talk to your friends about certain things, it's kind of like, well, why are we friends? You know,
right?
Like, if you can't share things, if you can't get things off, whatever. But I do think some friends can be judgmental, but it's also their point of view, and it's like, dang, right. If you say you want something better for yourself, then like you should do this that way. But you also can give your friends grace. It's like, okay, they're what they want, they're grown, right? But it's just like, okay, girl, you said this, you said that, you know, whatever. But yes, you know, join us for our next episode where we talk about friendships. That's just a little tidbit. Okay?
Right. So at the end of the episodes, as y'all know, we always get into a little bit of trivia. So we are still playing our game, Lyrically Correct. Well, not our game, but the game, Lyrically Correct.
Shout out to them. Maybe they should sponsor us for our gospel one.
Yes. So I'm going to let Alicia pick a card, and she's going to ask me a question. We'll see if I know the answer.
Okay. According to Deborah Cox, who is supposed to be here? A, her man. B, her family. C, God. D, nobody.
Nobody.
Period. D.
Nobody's supposed to be here.
I was like,
and that's all I know.
Okay. I know I tried my last time, something like that, but I don't know the name of the song.
Yeah, that song goes.
Let us know if you know the name of the song. But yes, nobody's supposed to be here. Let's see if I get this one right.
Why did John Legend suggest that they take it slow?
This time we'll take it slow. I don't know.
Ooh, this is one of his most famous songs too.
But that's the only part I know. This time we'll take it slow. I don't know.
It's dealing with people.
Oh, is it ordinary people?
Yeah. Yep. They're just ordinary people.
They're just ordinary people. Okay.
Yes.
Come on now. Yeah, they're just ordinary people. We're just, we don't know which way to go. Yo. Yeah, I do know that song. Yay, we did it, kind of.
Yeah. That was better than the other Lyrically Corrects.
Okay, let us know. They'd be hard. If you don't follow us on TikTok, you need to follow us on TikTok and Instagram because,
Yes.
child, that's where we post these, and you can join and answer them with us because they're fun. So,
And then we will also do affirmations. So we'll pick our cards.
every girl is beautiful in her own unique way.
Okay, yes. Clean. Mine is remember compliments you receive, forget the insults.
Period. I love that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And before we go, I do want to let y'all know that if you are trying to get in front of women, let us know. If you have a brand, a business, a service, or a product, we are taking ad space. We have 3 ad spaces. If you're interested in getting your service promoted, doing a commercial, let us know. Email us at blackgirlsden@gmail.com. We are now taking commercials for advertisement.
Oh, yeah. And then to add on to that, we are still taking passport applications as well. So if you are a woman, specifically in college, and you have never had your passport and you want to travel like us, make sure you look into the comments or look into the description below. There's an application. And we're also still doing our donations for our fundraiser as well. So, yeah.
Yes. So exciting. So follow us. Stay tuned for more. And see you next Wednesday.
Bye.